Welcome back to Free River Forum. And my name is Bernard Ishibantin in Atlanta, Georgia. If you haven't subscribed, like I said, I want you to be my valued subscriber. And I will cherish you and I want you to subscribe because the more you subscribe, the more I know I'm doing a good job or I'm doing something you like. And I want to impress, I want to make my listeners happy or I want them to get some knowledge because we all learn from others. There's things I don't know, there's certain things I know you don't know. So, I want to make this forum as diverse as possible because I don't cater to one. That is why I speak English because I cater to all people, but all people of diverse background. And I think English is one of the famous languages around the world where it is spoken among billions of people around the world. So, basically that is why I do what I do. But I don't want to restrict myself to one particular subject matter. So even though this forum started as a geopolitical issues where I talk about politics, the world politics, economic, social, cultural around the world. Every now and then I talk about psychology, issues relating to psychology. I talk about intimate relationship, and again, I'm not expert in relationship, but we all have some experiences that we can share with each other, and sometimes my listeners can give me feedback and ask me about my opinion about a particular subject or particular thing, and I talk about it if I really am interested in it. So last week I talked about ego, and I make a case that all human beings, no matter what, we all have ego. We have that egoistic impulses within us. It's inherent. It's part of it. It's innate. It's part of it. It's an integral part of it. Intrinsic part of it. And so it helps us to, interact with each other and maintain our identity. Distinguish ourselves and everything. Just like so. The point here is egos are part of it. Like I said, it's an important part of it. But what makes it scary is when people, let ego blind them to some of the obvious facts of life, and then make it, and then in that case, in that sense, make people, those people who have been controlled by ego, think like everything revolves around them. It's about me, everything me. That's what makes it scary. And those people, if you look at even the word, how war has started leaders with some egoistic impulses that they think they can conquer the world. They have the means, they have the bomb, and so they want to control one party state. They want to control just like Hitler did, like I said one time. So those are the egos that can, make Napoleon Bonaparte, all they were consumed by ego. So but there's some people too who have been able to tame and control their ego and use ego to ego in a very, very beneficial way, selfless way. So ego has a positive and negative side, just like everything in every human endeavor. So today's conversation will be about it's very interesting, interesting because it's a subject I've been talking about nuclear weapons. And so the topic today, I will use the quotation of the current Secretary General of the United Nations, as a topic of my discussion today. And so the topic will be the world we are living in today. That's a direct quote from the current Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres. He said, the world we are living in today is just one miscalculation away from nuclear annihilation or nuclear destruction. The world you and I are living in today is just one miscalculation away from what? Nuclear war destruction, nuclear weapon destruction. And it's true because I'm making this point. I've been making this point over and over again. And I know some people be tired of it and say, why is this guy trying to sound this, false alarm? Who I know it's not. And I don't blame those people because you know what? If you don't understand the science, I know there's a lot of people, not all of us are privileged to understand the science of international relations. So you look at it, you see China hovering all over Africa, and you think China loves African to death. No. If you understand international relations and look at it from either liberalism context or from realism context, then you probably will understand why China is all over in Africa, trading with everybody in Africa, trying to appear like they're more sympathetic towards African than American or wherever. It's not that. So you have to understand the motive behind that. And the only way you can understand, if you understand at least the basics of international relations, why nations behave the way they behave in the international arena, right? So, according to the Secretary General of the United Nations, he said the world is one miscalculation away. That means if one nation make a mistake, one nation can make a nuclear weapon nation make mistake and use nuclear weapon, the world will be probably coming to an end, like people said it, or Christians said it in the Bible. So all along I said that maybe God will not come to this world and destroy the world just like the Bible predict. Maybe what will happen is we human beings, we will start destroying the world, and that will make probably God come in and say, hey, you know what? I created this beautiful planet for you guys, and I guess you guys are suckers. You guys are trying to destroy it. You guys, because of greediness and selfishness, you are destroying. So I'm coming to take over my land or my planet. Probably that's what I said. That's what I think will happen. God will not just jump in and say, I'm coming to destroy the world. You know what? We selfish people will start doing it, and that will make things happen the way the world will happen. So basically, that is what will happen. So anyway, back to the conversation. So the Secretary General said the world is one miscalculation away from nuclear annihilation or destruction, right? And he right. And so I know people make think that I'm over dramatizing or exaggerating, but this is true. Think about it. Unlike in 1945, now most countries, you see, in 1945, the United States was the first country to invent nuclear weapon. And then in 1949, like I said, Russia followed suit. Right after that, China, Britain, France, now Pakistan, India, Israel is supposed to have nuclear weapon. They haven't declared by everybody. It's an open secret. And Iran is forcing her to have nuclear bomb. You see that? And so the fear is that maybe some countries may acquire nuclear weapon, but they may not know, they may not have the means to secure it safely. And it can fall into your wrong hands. Terrorists can get access to it. And one little nuclear bomb can destroy, can cause havoc, massive destruction, can kill millions of people within minutes or seconds, within seconds or minutes. And that's how devastating or destructive, a nuclear weapon, or lethal nuclear weapon is. And so when the Secretary General and other nations met, on August the 1st, at the United Nations headquarters in New York, he made that point that we are just one miscalculation away. And he cited what is happening in Ukraine and Russia war in Ukraine. Russia has nuclear weapons. And think about it. Ukraine is too close to, it's Europe, close to all these European countries or the NATO countries. And if they were to use this nuclear weapon, what do you think the reaction of the NATO nation in Europe will be? Think about it. You see? And so that is what it is. And then he cited what is happening in South China Sea or in Asia, precisely China. China is a major power now. And to be frank with you, the nation that United States spent time worrying about is China, not Russia, because Russia doesn't have money. If you take the petroleum or the oil from Russia, they don't have money. See, that is why Soviet Union collapsed. They don't have money. But the money, China has money. Because as a matter of fact, United States, debt, United States debt, all the debt United States is in, majority of them is held by China. Almost every 4 months or 3 months, United States go to China for some loan. You see that? So all countries get loans. So China has money. And so once you have the money, then you have the means to produce all kind of weapons you have. So if you look at Russia, Russia didn't have the money but they were trying to compete with the United States, which had the money. And so at some point in time, they collapsed because they didn't have the money, and the economy started tumbling, and the people started rebelling, and then one thing led to another. Inflation was high, sky high, and one thing led to another, and the Soviet Union crumbled from within. See, but unlike Russia, China, it's not like that. They have the means, they have the money, and they can compete. They're competing with the United States. And they are determined because they went through hell before, from 1839 to 1949. And so now they don't want to go through that kind of humiliation and that kind of where all Western nations come to China area to dominate them and treat them like piece of trash. You see, so they have determined that no matter what, they will not sit down for any nation. So there's a big conflict. There's a big conflict simmering under the carpet, which is China claimed that Taiwan is part of China. It's about 100 miles from the mainland China. And so since 1949, when the nationalists fight and that split came in, China said it's a matter of time. They will anytime they will invade Taiwan and absorb Taiwan into part. But United States, even though United States claim has a policy called One China policy that Taiwan and China are one, indirectly or under the table, they're supporting Taiwan. They're supplying Taiwan with all kind of arms and that kind of stuff. That in case China decided to invade Taiwan and claim Taiwan, just like Putin did Crimea and now doing in Ukraine, what do you think will happen? China has nuclear bomb. United States has nuclear bomb. And China had determined that no matter what, they have vowed that no matter what anybody said, Taiwan is part of it. And Taiwan people want independence. But think about it. China has power. Every day they are conducting military drill around the mainland, around the island, the Taiwan island around it. And even not long ago, about 2-3 days ago, Nancy Pelosi, who is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and according to the United States Constitution, she is the third in line. In case something happened to the president and the vice president, the person who will be the interim president will be the Speaker of the House, not the Senate, the Speaker of the House, according to the United States laws or Constitution, right? And so China saw Ms. Pelosi's trip to Taiwan as a slap in their face because, in other words, it gives Taiwan legitimacy. It makes Taiwan independent. A clamor for independence become legitimate, become more authentic in the eyes of the world. So China is going crazy, and they were throwing, conducting military drill and everything, bombs exercise while Ms. Pelosi was flying into Taiwan. Think about it. If can Nigeria or Ghana or any weak country, Speaker of their parliament, go to Taiwan and over China's objection? No, only the United States can do it. You see that? And so that is why nations acquire power. Because if you have power, there's a lot of things you will do. Because whilst Ms. Pelosi was in the air, airborne in one of the United States Air Force plane, they have F-15 bombers escorting their plane, jamming all kind of stuff around the plane and landed about 10:30 p.m. local time. See, and China going crazy. China, if you do your research and find out what, so you ask yourself, why is China doing this? So it goes back to what the Secretary General said, that the world is just one miscalculation because China has determined that one day it will take over Taiwan. And Taiwan people don't like that. And the United States now is practicing some kind of policy called strategic ambiguity. So the strategic ambiguity is like you haven't made any comment. I don't know what I would do in case China invade Taiwan. But we all know what will happen because every now and then they said it. Republican and Democrats said it, that if China invade, Taiwan and claim it like it said, I don't think it'll be a good proposition. It'll be a good move. So that is what is happening. So when the United Nations Secretary General said that the world is one miscalculation away from nuclear annihilation or destruction. He right. And what I've been saying all along, I'm not just exaggerating it. You just have to get time. Stop eating all the food every day and take your time and, just get some information and try to understand how the way you're living in, how other countries are, running this country without your knowledge. You just get up in the morning, dressed up and go to work and think that everything is all right. No, everything is not all right. There's some people, China will do it. The reason China doesn't want to do it right now, they look at their military capabilities and they find out, man, if we try, maybe we'll be humiliated by the United States. But as time goes on, there's a prediction that by at least 2030, from 2025, 2030, China will do it. At that time, they think they have acquired enough weapons. And think about it. United States will not sit down for that to happen. And it will be a mess. So that is what I'm talking about. So to end it, let me just quote one more thing about what the Secretary General said about what is happening around the world in terms of nuclear. He said it, many countries are seeking false security, right, in stockpiling and spending millions or billions of dollars, right, on a doomsday weapons. What is doom? Doomsday weapon. That's another nickname for nuclear weapon. Doomsday weapon. In this planet, that doesn't even belong. It doesn't belong. Those doomsday weapons doesn't belong here. Do research that the world is producing all these doomsday weapons that doesn't belong. So that is what I have for you today. And just again keep praying and hope against hope that all this nuclear powered nation doesn't miscalculate. One of them doesn't miscalculate, because if it happens, others will retaliate and it won't be good for us. And I will keep saying it is true, and I'm not exaggerating it, trying to get a good idea or trying to get a basic understanding of international relations. And through at least go and Google realism, international relation realism, and try to understand it in your own way. If you can, you can email me or send me a feedback. I can explain with you one-on-one about what realism means, that the word is what it is, and so you got to deal with what it is. So it is what it is. So it's just like if you broke, you broke. So you can go and get money you can spend. And now if you have the money, you can spend it. That's what it is. If somebody is threatening you, that is what it is. It's real. So you have to do all that you can do to protect yourself. So that is how the world countries do what they do. Acquire all this nuclear because they see the world as real. What they see is what they see. And so they have to, plan accordingly. So that is what I have for you. Once again, my name is Bernard Eshibonten, and this is Ofin River Forums. Share and subscribe. And like I said, I talk about range of issues, and maybe today it's not your issue. Next day, I'll talk about what you may like. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you another time.